In this video, you will see what is the top 10 must-have units in the new Jojo Bizarre Adventure Anime Last Stand update. Every units in this video are all obtainable and not from trading. I do want to know, what do you think is the best unit in this Jojo Bizarre Adventure update? Remember to subscribe and like. And with that being said, in no particular order, the first must-have unit is Poy Made In Heaven. Poy is one of the newest obtainable units you can get in this new Jojo Bizarre Adventure update, especially at later upgrades. He will get an insane ability where he will be able to stun both air and ground enemies. Oh my gosh! Poy Made In Heaven stats a max upgrade, a max of R, 22.1 million damage with his SPA at 3.99 seconds, making his damage per second at 5.5 million. And at later upgrades, Poy will get a new ability where it will reset every other unit's cooldown, which is honestly insanely broken. Like, what the frick is this ability? How to get Poy Made In Heaven is by getting 3 moon fragments, which will spawn every 24 hours from the last time you picked it up in the new Legend Stage Ruined Warrior. And we'll be needing all 3 of the diary page. Poy Made In Heaven best traits are Glitch, Avatar, and Overlord. Okay, next in is Lord Noir Damon. Diablo is one of the strongest hybrid unit with this insane damage at later upgrades. Lord Noir Damon stats a max upgrade and max of R, 6,830,000 damage with his SPA at 10.9 seconds, making his damage per second at 626,605.50, which is insanely good, especially he is a hybrid unit and have a huge LAN AoE at later upgrades. How to get Lord Noir Damon is by summoning on the slime banner using the slime currency you can get from Abandoned Cathedral Winter Portal, which you can buy from the World 2 summoning area. If you don't end up getting the unit you want and hit pity, the game will give you a token that will let you choose what unit you want. Lord Noir Damon's best traits are Glitch, Avatar, and Overlord, as he is a 2 placement. Alright, next unit is Pride the One. Escanor is still one of the best damage per second unit with his insane full AoE at later upgrades and is an overpower team buff in this new Jojo Bizarre Adventure update. Pride the One stats a max upgrade and max level R, 35.5 million damage with his burning dealing 42.6 million and his SPA at 5.09 seconds, making his damage per second at 15,343,811, which is incredibly overpowered, especially at later upgrades. He becomes a full AoE with a huge range, which will carry you in most purgatory caverns, and not only that, will also help you with your legend stages, especially if you have Pride the One on your first slot. You will be able to buff your whole team's damage by 20%. Pride the One's best traits are Glitched, Avatar, and Overlord. Okay, next one is Flame Breather. Rengoku is still one of the best burn units, especially he is a hybrid unit on placement and is affordable at wave 2, making him insanely good for legend stages and caverns. Flame Breather stats a max upgrade and max of LR, 12.9 million damage with his flame dealing 15.5 million damage and his SPA at 3.66 seconds, making his damage per second at 7.7 million. Oh my gosh, which is incredibly strong, especially on how affordable he is. How to get Flame Breather is from the Demon Capsule, and you can farm Demon Capsule from Infested City Infinite Mode in World 1. Alright, next one is Volterra Dragon Rage. Volterra is one of the best hybrid unit with his strong full AoE and electric at later upgrades. Volterra Dragon Rage stats a max upgrade and max of R, 5.39 million damage with his electric dealing 1.88 million damage and his SPA at 9.86 seconds, making his damage per second at 737,322.51, which is incredibly good, especially he is a hybrid unit and becomes a full AoE at later upgrades. How to get Volterra Dragon Rage is by summoning on the slime banner using the slime currency you can get from the Abandoned Cathedral Winter Portal, which you can buy from the World 2 summoning area. If you don't end up getting the unit you want and hit pity, the game will give you a token that will let you choose what unit you want. Volterra Dragon Rage's best traits are Glitch, Avatar, and Overlord. Alright, next unit is Oni General Samurai. Benimaru is one of the best hybrid unit with his strong flame damage at later upgrades. Oni General Samurai stats a max upgrade and max level are 2.22 million damage with his Dark Flame dealing 10.6 million damage with his SPA at 3.86 seconds, making his damage per second at 3.3 million. Oh my gosh, which is insanely good, especially he is a hybrid unit at later upgrades with his huge insane line AoE. How to get Oni General Samurai is by summoning on the slime banner using the slime currency you can get from the abandoned cathedral winter portal, which you can buy from the world 2 summoning area. And if you don't end up getting the unit you want and hit pity, the game will give you a token that will let you choose what unit you want. Oni General Samurai's best traits are Glitch, Avatar, and Overlord. Alright, next unit is Umura Segunda. Ukura is one of the best affordable nature unit, especially he is insanely good for the Tensura portals as the enemies are all water type units, and he is hybrid on placement in this new Jojo Bizzare Adventure update. Umura Segunda stats a max upgrade and max level are 21.8 million damage with his SPA at 5.91 seconds, making his damage per second at 3.6 million, which is insanely strong, especially he is a nature unit, and they aren't as many nature units that have this high of a damage, especially with him having Avatar trait, which is the second best trait on Ukura. How to get Umura is from the Hollow Dimension in World 1 Act 6, where he is a 6% drop rate both in normal and nightmare. Umura Segunda's best traits are Glitch, Avatar, and Overlord. Alright, next one is Dragon Princess Dragonoid. Milim is still one of the best hybrid unit with her insane stun and damage at later upgrades. Dragon Princess Dragonoid stats a max upgrade and max level are 6.56 million damage with her SPA at 5.84 seconds, making her damage per second at 1,123,287, which is insanely good, especially she is a hybrid unit at later upgrades with her insane stun and huge AoE. How to get Dragon Princess Dragonoid is by summoning on the slime banner using the slime currency you can get from the abandoned cathedral winter portal, which you can buy from the world 2 summoning area. If you don't end up getting the unit you want and hit pity, the game will give you a token that will let you choose what unit you want. Dragon Princess Dragonoid's best traits are Glitched, Avatar, and Overlord, as she is a 3 placement. Okay, next one is Time King. Julius is still one of the best light support units, especially with his time stop at later upgrades, and he becomes a hybrid unit in this new Jojo Bizzare Adventure update. Time King stats a max upgrade and max level are 12.7 million damage with his SPA at 4.63 seconds, making his damage per second at 2,742,980, which is insanely good, especially he gets a manual ability and becomes a full AoE. At later upgrades, Time King gets a manual ability where he will be able to time stop enemies in his range, which is quite valuable in tough situation when you are trying to clutch. How to get Time King is by summoning on the World 2 Ultimate banner. Alright, next one is GNA Preum. GNA is one of the newest obtainable units you can get in this new Jojo Bizzare Adventure update, and he became one of the best heal nature units. GNA Preum stats a max upgrade and max level are 3.4 million damage with his SPA at 9.39 seconds, making his damage per second at 362,087, which is extremely strong for a nature heal unit. GNA Preum best traits are Glitched, Avatar, and Overlord. Okay, next one is True Curse King. Sukuna is still one of the best damage per second with his nuke ability at later upgrades and team buff. True Curse King stats a max upgrade and max level are 27.3 million damage with his dismantle dealing 62.4 million damage and his SPA at 6.12 seconds, making his damage per second at 14,656,862, which is insanely good. Oh my gosh. When having True Curse King as your leader, he will buff your team's range by 35%, which is incredibly good, and do keep in mind that you can only have one leader buff by equipping one of the Gollies in the first slot. How to get true Curse King is by equipping all the 7 deadly evolve units, Pride Noon and Megumi evolve, and talk to Sukuna at the summoning area at World 2. When done correctly, you should be able to evolve your Sukuna. At the last upgrade, he will get a manual ability where he will be able to nuke the enemies. Alright, next in is Strongest Sorcerer Unsealed. Jojo became insanely strong with this insane slow, and how incredibly strong he is on placement in this new Jojo Bizzare Adventure update. Strongest Sorcerer Unsealed stats: a max upgrade and max Valar, 53 million damage with his SP at 5.82 seconds, making his damage per second at 9,106,529, which is incredibly overpowered, especially he is already strong with his time stop ability that he gets at later upgrades. A later upgrade, Jojo will get a new ability called Unlimited Void, where you can manual time stop ability and freeze every enemies in his range, and can be activated every 25 seconds, which is insanely good, especially when you're trying to clutch in legend stages. At the last upgrade, Strongest Sorcerer Unsealed will get a nuke ability where he will deal 8 billion damage. Alright, next in is Slime Devil Lord. Rimuru is still one of the best hybrid unit with this insanely strong full AoE fear and nuke ability at later upgrades. Oh my! Slime Devil Lord stats: a max upgrade and max Valar, 34.6 million damage with his SP at 6.14 seconds, making his damage per second at 5,635,179, which is incredibly strong, especially he is a hybrid unit and becomes a full AoE. Slime Devil Lord gets a fear passive at later upgrades where he will be able to stun enemies 5 times for 1 second each and dealing 10% more damage to them. How to get Slime Devil Lord is by defeating the newest secret Abandoned Cathedral Winter Portal, which you can get from the tier 5 Abandoned Cathedral Winter Portal, and you will be needing mass to get him to his final evolution that can be obtained from the secret portal. Excuse me. Slime Devil's Lord's best traits are Glitched, Avatar, and Overlord. Alright, next in is Killer Bite the Dust. Kira is one of the newest obtainable units you can get in this new Jojo Bizzare Adventure update, and he became one of the best fire units, especially with his insane DOT damage. Killer Bite the Dust stats: a max upgrade and max Valar, 19.9 million damage with his DOT damage dealing 33.9 million damage, and his SP at 6.52 seconds, making his damage per second at 8,251,533.74, which is extremely overpowered. Oh my, with this huge AoE circle, and he will be able to hit both air and ground enemies. Killer Bite the Dust best traits are Glitch, Avatar, and Overlord. Okay, next in it is Asuta Half Devil. Asuta is still one of the strongest dark units, especially he is extremely cheap to upgrade, and he is hybrid on placement, which will be useful for caverns and legend stages. Asuta's Half Devil stats: a max upgrade and max Valar, 24.3 million damage with his SP at 6.24 seconds, making his damage per second at 3,894,230, which is insanely strong since he is extremely cheap to upgrade and he is hybrid on placement. How to get Asuta Half Devil is by evolving the rare Asta you can get from banners, and evolve the mythic Asta to ultimate Asta by using the evolution item you can get from the Demon Skull Village Corrupted Secret Portal. Yippee yay! Okay, next in is 7th Company Captain Former. Benimaru is still one of the best affordable dark unit, especially he is a heal unit where he will be able to attack both air and ground enemies in this new Jojo Bizzare Adventure update. 7th Company Captain Former stats: a max upgrade and max Valar, 11.2 million damage with his Dark Flame dealing 53.8 million damage, and his SP at 4.19 seconds, making his damage per second at 15,513,126. Later upgrades, Benimaru will deal Dark Flame damage, which is incredibly overpowered for legend stages, caverns, and many more. I highly recommend to pull for this unit, as I consider this unit valuable along with the units mentioned in this video, of course. How to get 7 company captain former is by summoning on the World 2 Ultimate banner. Alright, next is Black Swordsman Berserk. Guts is one of the best dark units, especially he will become a full AoE hybrid and will deal hemorrhage damage at later upgrades. Black Swordsman Berserk stats a max upgrade and max LR, 27.8 million damage with his hemorrhage damage dealing 39 million and his SPA at 6.81 seconds, making his damage per second at 9,809,104, which is insanely good, especially you can buff his hemorrhage even more with the soul once you get to World 2, and at later upgrades he becomes a full AoE which will be useful for legend stages and caverns. Okay, next is Green Esper. Tatsumaki is one of the best heal unit, especially she has an insane range and slows enemies. Especially, she's insanely good for the Tensura portals and legend stages. Green Esper stats a max upgrade and max LR, 159,480 damage with her SPA at 3 seconds, making her damage per second at 53,160, which is insanely good as you can place 3 of Green Esper, and she's extremely cheap to max upgrade, making her one of the best heal unit with her good slow. Oh my. Best traits you can have on Tatsumaki are Overlord, All-Seeing, Shinigami, and Glitch trait, and of course Avatar. You cannot forget about Avatar. Finally, the last unit is Ancient Vampire Over Heaven. Dio is one of the newest limited godly added, and he became one of the best godly units, especially he becomes a full AoE and will get a new ability at later upgrades. Ancient Vampire Over Heaven stats a max upgrade and max LR, 47.4 million damage with his lightning damage dealing 16.6 million and his SPA at 8.42 seconds, making his damage per second at 7,600,950.11, which is extremely overpowered as he becomes a full AoE at later upgrades and will be able to hit both air and ground enemies. At later upgrades, Dio will get Zawaru Do Over Heaven. Upon activating, he will be able to time stop enemies for a long time, and every time an enemy spawns, you will be able to stun them and will summon units to fight for you. When having Ancient Vampire Over Heaven in your first slot, it will make your stun, electrify, freeze, fear, and time stop effect last 30% longer, which is incredibly overpowered. And do keep in mind they can only have one leader buff by equipping one of the godlies in the first slot. The best traits you can have on Ancient Vampire Over Heaven are Glitch, Avatar, and Overlord. That was everything for this video on the top 10 must-have units in the new JoJo Bizarre Adventure Anime Last Stand update. I hope this video helped you in some sort of way. Remember to subscribe and like, and I will see you in my next one. Bye bye.